Hey. Come on in, y'all. Say hello. It's the Fit Pro Show. Let's bring Alexis on the screen. You're the queen of chair dancing. Let's have it.
It's like
All right. Thank you for being a good sport about that, Alexis.
I can't refuse to dance.
Hey, everybody. I see you guys coming in. Say hello. Greet Alexis with me. It is the Fit Pro Show. This is the show that I put together for fitness professionals so that we can get to know each other, so that I can bring you information and resources. And we are hyper-focused on teaching online. How do we get online? How do we make our videos better? How do we make money and make up for the impact that we've lost during COVID and during quarantines? How do we kick quarantines right in the face? And with me today, I have Alexis Perkins. Alexis owns Chair One Fitness. And Alexis, if you don't mind, introduce yourself and let us hear all about you.
Well, first and foremost, I'm really, really happy to be here. Thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you for always providing services to everybody who's in this fitness profession. I always love camaraderie, and when we can rely on each other, we all get to excel. So thank you first.
Thank you.
But yeah, so I'm Alexis with Chair One Fitness. I'm the founder and creative director. And Chair One Fitness is a chair-based dance fitness program. We basically want to break down barriers, making fun fitness options available to anyone, no matter their age or ability. And so we've had a fun time going from in-person trainings to virtual. So it's been a journey, but that's me and what I do. I have a long history in fitness too, between being an instructor, personal trainer, owning a brick and mortar, and then of course going digital. So it's been a very, very, very fun fitness journey.
Well, and I think you skipped over one. You had a show for a while.
Yeah, that too. So yeah, I think I skipped over two things. So I was a co-producer and lead instructor for a 30-minute workout television program, which was a lot of fun because, you have to get music, choreography, production, and your backup dancers and instructors, things you got like that. And also fitness events. I was also the coordinator for the Love Fest, which was the largest dance fitness event here in Hampton Roads, Virginia, or coastal Virginia. So we had about 2,000 people all dancing in unison. It was a beautiful experience. So that too. So,
oh my gosh, that is so much fun. So can we do that again with all Fit Pros when we can come back and do live events?
When we can do live events again, I would love to put something together, because as much as I love dance fitness, now as you kind of mature in your career path, now I'm kind of open to like a whole bunch of different things in fitness, like not just dance fitness, even though dance fitness has my heart. But it would be nice to definitely bring people together again who all love fitness. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. That would be so much fun. So we may have a partner project coming up. That would be amazing. But in the meantime, what I'm noticing, and the reason that I wanted to have you on, is that in my virtual studio business accelerator, in the Fit Pros Connect group as well, and in my conversations with you, I'm noticing how well chair fitness does online.
Yeah.
The right audience. It's well, yeah. So you tell me about that. Why do you think that is?
I think that the reason why we're doing well, there's probably a couple reasons why. We took a lot of time to identify who our target audience is, because everybody has to have somebody who their services are for. So with us, we have two. We have the ones who take the instructor trainings. Those are who become an instructor. And the people who become the best Chair One Fitness instructors are those who already have a background in group exercise, because they pick up on the musicality and the choreography. And my job is to teach them all of the medical stuff that goes with being in a chair. And I also teach them how to adapt to different populations So that's one thing. Our other population is for our on-demand workouts, which are direct to consumer at home, where they don't have a fitness facility, or due to COVID, they don't feel comfortable leaving their home. But I think with making something successful virtually, it's taking the elements that you had in person, like your core value elements, and figuring out, how do I do this through a screen, right? How? Like for instance, we are very interactive in our trainings. Like interactive is a big word that we use. Like, so when it came time to pivot, it was like, okay, how are we going to interact through the screen? Like, how are we going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
So we came up with different things, like, virtual high fives at certain moments, having stuff where they have to move in unison with us through a screen, just to keep that element of it. The other part is just putting it out there, because so many people didn't start right away. It was, I'm just going to wait for COVID to leave. And then while everybody was pivoting, some people were like, wait, I'm just going to wait. I'm like, don't wait, work. Just work through it, figure it out, work through it. There's a different audience out there. And also discovering possible audiences. For example, our main demographic in the beginning, we covered multiple demographics. Is that?
It's mine. I've got Bad Doggy back here. I know. I'm tempted to walk away and put her away, but I'm texting my daughter and telling her to do it. So everyone that watches the Fit Pro Show on a regular basis is familiar with Bad Doggy. She gets put outside during the day, but it's really cold out. So I've got her dog kennel like up to the door. And right now she has decided, or up to the little dog door, and she has decided she's going to sit in her kennel and bark at whatever's outside.
Fun times. But yes, just as far as identifying a new population, ours originally was at the top was our seniors and aging populations. And then right below that was probably our mobility aid users, wheelchair users, things like that. And then beneath that, we had our obese and our plus size population. And so that was the tier that it was when we were in person. When we went virtual, what happened is that we still catered to all of them, but plus size shot up to the top because they were all online. And the mobility aid shot to center, and then the seniors became third as far as who's using it virtually so much. Now that COVID has been here for so many months, now, thank goodness, senior homes and caregivers are starting to get, okay, we have to go digital because we waited long enough. So now they're coming back up as far as being.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Mm-hmm. I know they really needed that service. So one of the things that I keep saying is that because we are no longer bound by geography, and because we are all going online, that we have the opportunity to really serve these niche populations in so much of a deeper and more meaningful way. And the cool thing about that is that there were millions of people in this country who were marginalized by the traditional fitness industry, either because they couldn't get there or because they felt intimidated or they had a specific injury or whatever it is. So that I thought that was really interesting to hear about the plus size, that they were kind of always third and then they were first because they already knew how to use the online.
And I think we're at a time right now where I think I was just listening to this book today, one of those many, many leadership business books that I listen to all the time.
And you and I are both business leadership junkies.
Yes. And so
podcast, all of it.
But they were talking about business intuition, and how when you have the intuition to see what's happening, what's trending, what's going on. So I'll say one benefit that Chair One Fitness had was its inclusivity. I'm not sure if anybody's noticed, but I'm just going to go ahead and say what was trending and then noticing what's trending. So once upon a time, it was traditional families that you saw in marketing. It was like the two parents, the kids, the dog, they were all the same race. And then boom, there was that Cheerios commercial where it was biracial. And everybody was like, oh my God, it was biracial. But the next thing you know, everybody was having commercials that were biracial because it was trending to be inclusive, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, okay, you see what Orange is the New Black with like Laverne, and next thing you know is transgender, this and that. And then everywhere you went, every single commercial, they would make sure to include somebody who was a part of the LGB, I'm going to get all my letters wrong, but you know what I'm saying, communities. And because they wanted them to know.
Plus.
Thank you. So, and so what's happening now is a lot of inclusivity with those with developmental disabilities and also those with mobility aids, wheelchairs, walkers, things like that. You've seen it, if you've paid attention, you've seen it included in the advertisements for like Target, Walmart, all these different things. Plus size community is now being embraced more than ever with the self-love campaigns and all this other stuff. So any business that can cater to them, you're going to start leveling yourself up a little bit. So, because I remember even when I first started in fitness, I think every state has their big gym. Here in Virginia it's One Life Fitness, but you have 24-hour fitness, you have, what's the big ones? LA Fitness, you have some big box gyms. And when I first went to them, the instructors had to look the part, period. For you to get hired, you needed to look that part. And now it's fair game. You can be a little bit out of shape. Why? Because it inspires others who are out of shape to be on the journey with you, right?
Sure. You're more they call it approachable.
Yes. And so I think
I've been called approachable my entire career.
But yeah, I just think looking at those kind of things, it could definitely, help out, and just being observant of what's happening.
Very cool. Very cool. Yes, I really resonate with what you had to say there about the traditional fitness model and about looking the part. I can remember I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, and we have the Firm here. Do you remember the infomercials for the Firm? And it was like combination step and weights. It was really great. Actually, my daughter is really good friends with the lead instructor's daughter, and so she had infomercials all over the place and was on TV. But I remember auditioning for them in my 20s, and I was young. I was a size 4, and they were like, "You are amazing on camera. You're looking at the camera the whole time. You're doing all this stuff, but you're too big." Yeah. And so imagine being an obese person or a plus size person or a person that's a little bit older than most of the people that are in the gym, or if you've got immunocompromised problems, things that make you look different than other people, maybe a disability or something like that. Then imagine trying to walk into a gym and feeling like everybody in there is going to look a certain way and you're not. And all of those people are staying home.
Yeah.
So now we have
intimidating and I noticed that just from me being always looking around and observing, when I was one time at the gym, I was on a treadmill and I happened to see somebody who was plus size on a different treadmill, but the stairs and the this and that, first of all, I hated it. I was just observing. I was like, I wonder why. I'm that kind of person where it's like, I wonder why this and that. And I was just looking and I was like, they're here. They're starting. That's the important part,
Yeah.
And I actually saw them throughout the months and they ended up losing a lot of weight. And so one day they didn't even know who I was. I randomly approached them. I said, "Hey, I don't know if you probably don't know me, but I've seen you in here quite a bit and you have changed dramatically. And I saw you months ago. So just congratulations." They were like, "What?" They didn't know that I had been paying attention the whole time. But yes, definitely. So I know, like, even with Chair One of the most exciting things for me is that our instructors come in all shapes and sizes. And some of our most successful instructors can also be plus size because they are part of those groups already. And I know for me, I like it because even though I'm not a senior citizen right now, I have my own set of ankle issues and back issues, but I can still teach this. So we love our aging instructors as well.
I love that. That's a really good point. A really good point. We are noticing that. So the more that I dig in and really serve this community, I think I've told you my story before, but I had this Facebook group, Fit Pros Connect, for 12 years. And up until COVID, all I did was I was the admin. I made sure that people weren't selling. I just let people in and let them out if they were trying to sell too much and that kind of stuff. Then when COVID hit, I started doing the show. Now I'm really like in community with these people. It's all I do. Talk to members of the Fit Pros Connect community all day. And what I'm seeing is the assumption that I had that everybody looked the same and was smaller than a size 4, like they wanted me to be in that audition, was completely wrong. There are instructors of every shape, size, age, race, demographic, everything. Okay, so with that, let's pivot because I want to hear specifically about Chair One. I want to hear about the format. I want to hear about the process of getting certified. And I want to hear, maybe start with your origin story.
Oh, yeah, sure. I was like, origin, no. Yeah, so what happened is I had been teaching high intensity Zumba, everything like that for about 9 years. And then during that time, I was randomly asked to teach at a senior facility, and it was going to be seated. And I said, okay, I'll try. So I had to create all the choreography on my own. And I called my grandma and asked her, what would you want to hear? And just worked it out. But throughout the years of working at the senior home, which was about 8, I worked at like 7 different senior homes, and I had to learn a lot of things that I didn't learn with my fitness background, which was about, somebody had stroke, dementia, Alzheimer's, amputation, wheelchair, all those different things, learning etiquette, how to approach somebody, how not to, all that good stuff. And then I couldn't find a sub anywhere because all my fitness instructor friends didn't know how to teach these populations, and they weren't ready. I had one sub for me, and she called me and said, Alexis, her teeth fell out in middle class. And I was like, so it happens all the time. And she was like, I wasn't ready. She was like, I wasn't ready. So
this is like, what we do.
Yeah, I'm like, it's okay. What's the problem? So long story short, while I was doing that, I also had the 30-minute workout program, which was also on YouTube. And we recorded a total of 40 episodes. 38 of them were, dance, pump, 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 pump. And then 2 of them were seated. And what happened is that the views for the standing episodes averaged about 3,000 views each. But the 2 episodes for the chair jumped up to 500,000 plus. And it was the feedback that we received. So not just the numbers, but the feedback about, we got a comment today about, I have an ankle injury and I just enjoyed dancing with you. It was, I had a hip replacement. My son has cerebral palsy. And that's when I decided to create the program, Chair One Fitness. But me being a dork, once I wrote the manual, I sent it off to all my smart friends who are doctors and lawyers and everybody to look it over. They said it looks fine. And then I sent it off to get accredited or to get CEUs. And I wholeheartedly expected to submit it, get rejected, ask them why I got rejected, and then resubmit it. And the first one that I sent it to was NASM and AFA. And I was just waiting for that rejection so I could learn. But unbeknownst to me, we got approved on the first try. Woo-hoo. And then I know, it's so exciting. So we offer 8 CEUs for both of those organizations. But the cool thing was that we also have pre-approval from 5 other organizations, 2 for recreational therapy, 2 for activities professionals at senior homes, and 1 for dementia practitioners. So, and then since then, we've just really just taken off, and it's been so fun. We started off 2 years ago with in-person trainings, and then now we have changed over to virtual, of course, pivot. And now in February, we will be doing the on-demand workouts. So we're very, very excited about all of it. And I just love helping other fitness instructors pivot as well, because it's not that I'm not, intimidated and scared by this whole new digital world. It's just, you kind of just feel it and push forward and do it,
Yes, absolutely. I love that. So you put up the coolest clip that I love watching. I watch it every time it comes across my screen, of the lady that is doing it, and you're in the TV in the background.
Yeah, she's great. Isn't she?
Is that on our website? Because I want to pull it up and show it.
Is it on my website? It's not on my website. It was on our Instagram. It was on our Instagram and our Facebook. But no, that's probably one of the coolest people. I had the opportunity to talk to her, and she's just cool. All right. Like cool, laid back, but she was vibing out to that song like no other. So yeah.
For what?
Instagram.
So if you will tell us about the process of taking, is it a certification or is it just CEUs that you offer?
It's a certification. So it's a 9-hour day, but that includes your 1-hour lunch break. It also includes some other short breaks in between. So it's the 1-day Zoom training is one option. I love the 1-day Zoom training because you sign up, it starts off, and then you are working lecture, exercise, lecture, exercise.
Not live or videos?
live for that one. The Zoom is live. And so that's one day. And at the end of that day, you're a certified Chair 1 fitness instructor. For those who don't have 9 hours, or for those who just learn differently and want to take their time, we also have the complete online course, which is pre-recorded. And then for that one, they can take it at their own pace. And then at the end, we call it crossing the finish line. And that's just when they submit a video assessment. So that's the only extra step for the online course. So basically live Zoom training, you're done that day because the lead educator can assess you right there. Or the online course, go at your own pace, submit your little 3-minute video afterwards, and then you're an instructor.
Excellent. Okay. And I found the video, so I'm going to pull it up and show it because I think it is the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. So let's find it. Yes, there she is. Let's see if it plays the music for us. Oh, let's see. Here we go. All right, let's try again.
You can do it right from your chair. And if you want to be a little extra, you can become an instructor. So let's get started. Over here.
She got rhythm.
He's so cute.
She is.
I love her.
Yep.
And the cool thing is that she can actually dance very, very well.
Yeah.
But she was getting a lot of feedback from her followers that they couldn't do what she could do. So she was like, let me show you there are other options, you know?
Oh, so she did this because she's kind of an Instagram, oh, well, we missed the last part, but she does a pose. So she's kind of an influencer.
Yeah. And so she does all these cool, like TikTok. She can really, really dance. Like, and so she's plus size, but that girl has moves. But a lot of people who follow her, they're plus size, but can't move like that. Like they have knee problems. And so after getting some feedback like, oh, I wish I could dance like you, or I wish I could dance too, that's when she was like, yo, check this out. You can do this. Okay. And I was like, thank you. You know,
I love that clip. She just has rhythm, and her smile is adorable.
Yeah, swag. I'm sorry. I don't have any swag. She has it. I don't. And so I was really happy just to see her swag it out because she's just cool. She's like, oh, she's the coolest in me. She sure is cool.
Oh, I love that song too. So tell me about the implications, or what have you seen instructors do? So Marlene says she took your training on Sunday. I know I had posted about it last week, so she came in and took it. And I want to hear what you see instructors doing with this in terms specifically online. They come in, they take your course, or they take the one-day certification, they graduate. And then what are you seeing them do most often with it?
Well, they can teach in person or virtual classes. And a lot of people are going virtual now. For those who are teaching in person, a lot of them are at caregivers who actually have to go to the homes of people who are individuals, which is great. They can also teach at churches. Some teach at libraries because we do have our gospel section and everything like that for these different groups. They can be smaller with social distancing. For virtual, I love virtual, but I will say this. Matter of fact, I'm going to say this to every fitness professional who's even on here. It's one thing to be a great fitness instructor, right? Like when you have the talent, like you look good and you know your moves, you got it all down. But you have to know how to market yourself in order to really gain that success. I didn't know that going into it, but that was the difference between a successful instructor who was great and an unsuccessful instructor who was also great. It was the one. Yeah, the one who understood business, the one who understood how to market, the one who understood how to get an audience, right? So I would say with the virtual trainings, it can be done by anyone, but a lot of people are just confused about how do I get an audience? How? I would say the first thing to do is think about what time you're teaching a class and radius out how many time zones that's easy class for. So with the virtual live classes, you're restricted by just time zone, right? So if I have it at 11 o'clock here and I'm in Virginia, that means 8, 9, 10, 11, then it'll be 8 o'clock in Cali. So I could technically market to both because 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock, that's not too bad, right? So I would say, think of your market by your time zone and what works by that. When we were doing in-person classes, your radius was what? A few miles, 20-mile radius, 20
Yeah,
minutes.
depending on what kind of population you had, how far they are willing to drive.
So if you were dealing with seniors, you wanted to be within a 20-mile radius. And if you were dealing with active people, you probably wanted it within like a 40-mile radius because they don't want to drive that far. But with virtual, your radius is your time zone. That means you've actually tripled, doubled, quadrupled how many people you could potentially reach. And I think that if people think of it like that, then that's the first kickstart. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then for the people who are teaching virtual classes,
can I just interject something in real quick? I love that you said that, because so many people go online and then they go like this. Well, now that I'm online, my audience is the whole world, and they neglect kind of their own geographic circle, and they try to go for everybody everywhere. And then when you try to craft a message that is for everybody everywhere, you end up reaching nobody. But if you are online and you're saying, I'm a local instructor here in South Carolina, you get people in South Carolina's attention. Or the same with coastal Virginia, your area. It's a way to right away create affinity and identity with a potential audience member.
Yeah, and then you can also get local support too, because they're easier to call. And there's so many different small business groups or local business groups that people can tap into to share each other's information. I know that for me, that's when I'm being like an individual instructor. With business stuff, of course, we expanded a little bit bigger, but I did always start locally when it came down to in person, and also when I did some things via Zoom and so forth. But as far as that, just to give a shameless plug to you and the Fit Pros, for those who don't know what to do, that's where like I think the boot camp comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you just need knowledge. Once upon a time, like you were just mentioning infomercials, right? When's the last time like we've gotten hooked on an infomercial that went crazy? It's not like that anymore. The two biggest networks of advertising used to be NBC, ABC, and CBS. And now the juggernauts are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So everything has kind of switched. So it's basically like you just have to catch up. I understand that it's scary. I understand that it's like, okay, I'm old school or whatever it may be, but as soon as you face the facts, then you can start making some moves. So I think face the facts. You have to switch up with the times. This is the way that we're going. It is going digital. I know you like watching television and commercials, but go ahead and switch it over to YouTube, switch it over to Reels, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of the above. Go there because that's where the people are. And that's the best thing.
I love it. So true. Speak. Preach. So as far as people coming out of the program, you're seeing them do live in person, especially caregivers and people who are with those who are kind of chair bound more every day. And then you are seeing people also build classes.
Mm-hmm. And I would say, because we cover a whole section in the instructor training about how to market a class and get a class. The first thing we say to our instructors is identify who you want to teach. And so, and it was like, we're not asking you to love everyone. We're just asking you to love who you teach. So therefore, if you don't like kids, don't teach kids. That's fine. You don't even have to tell me you don't like kids. Just don't teach them. Go teach somebody else. Like I love seniors. That's my thing. But identify your audience first, whom you want to teach. And that can go for anybody, but that's what we say in our training to prepare them. And then find out where they are. It's a quick Google search. There are support groups, or depending on which demographic you're in, there are support groups, there's things like that. And then market yourself to them. Right. And it's just kind of like, hey, I'm starting this class and it's specific for your guys' needs. And I'd really like to invite you into my virtual class. And then learning what the best platform is for you, because you have Zoom, you have Google Meet, you have Band app. And I know some of this is confusing for somebody who's just starting. I hated learning all these apps in the beginning. I'm going to say it up front. I did not like it. I don't want to learn a new app, but I had to. And then setting up your platform properly and then getting ready to market it. That's the first thing, wherever it is, digitally. Contact those local groups, contact those churches if you want to teach a gospel class, contact the day support programs for those with developmental disabilities. Matter of fact, there's a huge market too for if somebody does want to teach children. They're all on these freaking virtual things right now, and their parents don't have any gym classes for them. Reach out to the different schools, hit them up and say, hey, we're doing something just for middle schoolers, or we're doing something just for elementary. And we like to send this out to all the parents as a way to keep them active. And aren't we all about it?
Amen.
So,
I've said that since the beginning of COVID, that there's a huge market for gym classes for all of these kids that are at home now.
Yeah. And so, and it's just like, there's just so many different, groups and things like that. And all it requires is a little bit of due diligence, a little bit of fingertips on Google, and a little bit of tenacity to sort through the no's so that you can get the yes. And yeah, there's so many opportunities out there.
I love it. So where can they learn more about? Tell me when you're doing your next live training.
The next live training is February 10th. Yeah,
Okay.
February 10th. And so, and I believe I gave your group a code anyway, didn't I? Yeah.
Well, the one last weekend, will that work for the February 10th one as well?
Yeah. So
Beautiful.
anybody who watches FitPro25, so FITPRO, the number 2, the number 5. But yeah, that's the next training. And then we also have a monthly free class. It's a part of our Chair 1 Gives Back program. So we offer one free class. So if anybody's like, hey, I just want to kind of see it first, check it out. But I could always be found. I'm really easy to find. It's just chair1fitness.com is for all general information. And that's just chair, like you're sitting down in one ONE fitness.com. And also on Instagram, of course. But if anybody just had any general questions, well, the first thing I would probably say is, the Fit Pros Bootcamp is the way to go. But if anybody had any direct questions, or if anybody doesn't currently have a fitness mentor or business mentor, my direct is Alexis, ALEXIS, at chair1fitness.com. So that's directly to me, which I don't know why I just said that out loud. I don't know if I want anybody in my inbox. No, I'm kidding.
I won't type it in. It won't get caught by the search robots. So.
It's okay. So Alexis at chair1fitness.com, or even if you just message it through the website, or even if you go to the Instagram. But definitely love building a community of strong instructors, because my favorite thing that we do is, I always say that our mission is to go out there and be a blessing to other people, and give the gift of fitness to those who need it most. I don't like it when somebody feels like they can't do it because they have a certain, physical ailment or whatever it may be. I'm always like, no, you can do it. We can do something. So we love instructors on our team like that. And I love all fitness things in general, just because of, my history of jumping around like a crazy lady in the gym for years.
I love it. I think this has been so helpful. You guys, do you have questions for Alexis before we let her go? She is a wealth of information. She is so knowledgeable in many different areas, but specifically in this chair piece. I love what you're doing. I love seeing the videos. I love hearing about it. And just keep in mind, you guys, that chair can be a great option to add a membership or add a specific audience to your existing online memberships, and augment, I should say, your existing online memberships. And tell me if I'm wrong, but it feels to me like you'd be able to add those classes and not add so much wear and tear to your body. So it's like adding another HIIT class to your schedule.
Yeah, I'll say, just to piggyback on that, I know this is an example from when we were in-person classes, but I'll still just mention it because I believe it rolls over into this as well. So when I first wanted to do fitness, I was working a 9 to 5. And then after work was when I would teach, 2 or 3 classes during the weekdays, like prime time, 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7.
Yeah.
When I wanted to go full time with fitness, I didn't think it was possible. I had done every single equation that I could, and I was like, there was no way for me to go full time. When I finally went down the path of doing it full time, you have early morning when people go to the gym before they go to work. And then you kind of have like this part of the day where like your housewives come in, and like a couple seniors come in, and then it's pretty dead. And then after that, prime time hits again at 5 o'clock, where everybody floods to the gym. So when I started teaching Chair 1 Fitness to the different senior homes, their prime time was 9 a.m. to noon. Okay.
Oh, isn't that perfect?
Yeah. And because we're considered a specialty, I actually got paid 3 times as much for half of the time. So I went from getting paid like $17, $18 at the big gym for a 1 hour high intensity class to my job in Virginia. I know that like in New York and California, y'all get more, bless your hearts, we don't. So I went from getting paid that amount. And then when I started teaching at the senior homes, it was $50 for a 30-minute class, but it was because it was a specialty, right? And the time was perfect. So I ended up teaching like 7 to 10 chair-based classes a week. So any given day it was like 2 to 3 of them, and I would hop from senior home to senior home. And sometimes it would be the same senior home, and I would hop from assisted living over to independent living in the same day. And so it ended up being my bread and butter that allowed me to take my fitness career full time, because I filled up that blank spot of the day, and it was really, really good. And I believe it can be done digitally as well.
That is a nugget of gold right there. You guys, if you are multitasking, I need you to look up and listen. I'm going to repeat what Alexis just said, that because it's considered a specialty and because of the venues that she was teaching chair fitness at in person, and I'm sure that this could apply online as well, that she was making 2 or 3 times the amount that she was making in the gym per class. And she was able to fill up the dead times in her schedule that wouldn't have had classes in them anyways. So I think that alone is huge. I love that.
And it was fun.
So Alexis, thank you so much. I don't see any questions rolling in. We may get some in the comments. So you guys tag Alexis, she's in the group. If you have questions and you're putting them in the comments, #replay. And we will get in there. We will get your questions answered. I have put the information about that next live Zoom certification on February 11th. And I've put the information about the on-demand as well. And Alexis, we just thank you so much.
Yeah, I was just checking one thing because I think you said February the 11th.
Okay.
So I got my date right. And so it is February. Oh, well, I was just wrong all the way, wasn't I? All right.
I can edit it.
February 7th. And that is a Sunday. We have one February 7th and February 20th. So we have one on a Sunday and one on a Saturday, February 7th and February 20th. I'm glad I checked.
I added it in the comments. So that information is live in the comments. Yes.
Sure.
All right, Alexis, thank you so much. I'm going to just cover a few little housekeeping items and I'll talk to you on the flip side.
Okie dokie.
All right. So you guys, wasn't that awesome? I've been really excited about that interview because I think that chair fitness has so many options. I'm seeing my accelerators make money with it. I'm seeing people in the group just use it as something that can augment what they're already doing. It's not as much wear and tear on you, and it is it's needed. It's needed, and there is a budget out there for it. So I think that all of those things are great. So thank you for being here today. I wanted to mention before I get out of here that any of you that have taken the boot camp in the past and are building your online fitness business, the cart to join the Virtual Studio Business Accelerator is open right now. You know, that's not something that I usually come into the Fit Pros Connect group and talk about, because it's really just something that you're only going to be interested in if you have completed the boot camp already. But if you completed that boot camp and you were really thinking about, hey, I want to build a bigger business, I want to do the things, I want to spend a year getting coaching from Kelly, the cart for the accelerator is open. And the information for that is at fitprosconnect.com/accelerator, ACCELEROT. And I'll put it in. I didn't say that right. Okay, so I'll put it into the comments. And it is available just today. We are closing that cart tonight at midnight because it's been open for my current boot campers, and it's going away at midnight. So if you think that might be something that you are interested in, schedule a call with me. The rest of my day is just dedicated to calls about the accelerator. Schedule a call with me. I will put the link in the comments for the calls. And I would love to talk to you about it and just assess whether or not that could be something that serves you. So that cart is open, and that's open just today until midnight. All right, y'all, I love you and I thank you for being here. And I will see you next Tuesday when we will be talking about, I had it and I lost it. It'll be me giving a business lesson, and the title will be announced later in the week. It's slipped my mind, but it's going to be on fire. All right, y'all. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for being here.